One of the things that's so great about books and movies and video games is the escape that they offer. But unlike books and movies, video games take it in a very, very different and much more personal direction. In a book or in a movie, you're reading or you're watching and listening, and you can escape into this story and just absorb what you're seeing, what you're hearing, and through both of those things, what you're feeling. But with a video game, it's all of those things, and you're taking the action, you're taking the initiative, you're making the choices, you're actively taking part in the story. And through that, it's not just a story that you're a passive audience member of. You are the main character, or you are taking center stage in this event. And it makes video games unique in that way because as immersive as a book could be, as engaging as a film could be, they can never reach that point because then they cease to be a book or they cease to be a movie. If that makes sense, if you understand what I'm trying to say, video games take the elements from both and they add in that interaction where you are the point. Even if you are taking on the persona of a predefined character, maybe not one that you've created yourself, you're still choosing what happens, how to act, when to act, and I guess in a way whether or not you want to participate, because if you get fed up or frustrated, you can stop and walk away. That's all on you. At the same time, this conversation that I'm having right now, or that I want to start, is less about you being the main character and more about how the escape, which is, I think, an amazing thing, creatively, mentally, it's a very engaging place to be. It's a very immersive feeling to take on this role because it kind of endows you with a sense of control that maybe some of us don't have in our real lives. For example, in your real life, maybe you don't have a whole lot of money. Maybe you're not working at the job you want. Maybe your personal life, your social or intimate relationships aren't as robust or varied or as engaging as you'd like them to be. Maybe the world that you're living in or that you've created for yourself isn't what you'd hoped it could be. And the way it is seems like it'll never change for the better. But in a video game, that's different. In a video game, more often than not, especially when it comes to RPGs, you start off very weak, but you build, you grow, you learn, you become more powerful. In many cases to the point that you're almost godlike, almost untouchable. You go from being somebody who has not even one gold coin to their name to somebody who could basically buy the world. You go from somebody who gets curb stomped by a rat to someone who can suplex a dragon and lock it into an anaconda vice without even thinking. You go from being someone who has to fight off wolves with a stick to a legendary hero who wields a sword that was lost for 1,000 years and can cut through space and time. You know what I'm saying. You go from being nobody to somebody. And as satisfying as that is, I think it's very easy. I'm guilty of it. I'm sure any of you who are listening have been guilty of it at one time or another, of going a bit too far down the rabbit hole and having that feeling, that immersion, become the point, to the point that maybe at the end of the day, when you're done work and you've come home, that's what you're looking forward to. Not so much building on your own real life, but stepping back into this role and becoming this person who has all of this control and power and influence and wealth and prestige and any number of things that you don't have in your real life, because that one is so much more fulfilled. I wanted to say better, but that's not true. Fulfilled, I think, is the right word to use. So in that way, I think the escape can reach a point, if you allow it to become the purpose, your purpose, when it should just be the escape. I'm not saying that you should check yourself and limit the immersion, the experience, but recognize that at the end of the day, as beautiful as the graphics are, as enthralling as the story and the world and the character you've created is, it's just a game at the end of the day. Games are an incredible thing. They're a medium without equal. I'm not even sure if anything will ever come along that's going to come close to achieving the same level of user experience that video games have, even if they move into, they are moving into virtual reality, but when that technology becomes more advanced and more immersive, it's still video games. I can't think of a way that entertainment mediums will evolve to eclipse what video games have done in terms of bringing people in, of showing them this interactive experience that you really can't have anywhere else. And certainly over, I'm trying to think of exactly how long video games have been around. Well, the 20 years that I've been experiencing them, how they've brought people together, which is the really amazing part. As much as I've talked in this episode about how losing yourself in the experience can be a detriment and can be a negative thing if you allow it to consume who you are and everything that you are and what you do, the level of community and engagement that they offer it's without equal. And something that I think I could talk to at great length in another episode, and I think I will save it for that. But just to end on that note, that the experience is, I think, one of the most unique, special qualities that video games bring to the table. But at the same time, check yourself. Make sure that you are enjoying it and that the experience, the wonder and the awe of stepping into a world that couldn't possibly exist in our reality doesn't become the reason for you to exist in your own reality. Anyway, if you have any thoughts, again, any comments, if you agree, if you disagree, I'd love to hear it either way. So feel free to discuss it in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this or the previous episodes, feel free to share them. And there's going to be plenty more to come. So until next time, I'm Rye. Take care of yourselves.